Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Let Me Call You Back podcast with Declan Brooks. This is part 3 of a conversation we had with a special guest, Adomas Wareikis. Let's get right back into it.
I'll talk about this. The CIA is known to do cultural they'll try to affect culture.
Yeah.
There are two quotes I always think about, and this is just I started writing an essay on conspiracy, and I would put these at the front and talk about stuff. The first one is from Hunter S. Thompson. Culture is found at the fringe. And then the one I put in conjunction with it is Andrew Breitbart of Breitbart News, who famously died suddenly. Politics is downstream from culture.
Yeah.
So those two things I was putting in conjunction together. And famously, the CIA, when they would try to fuck with people, they want to create a hall of mirrors. They want you to be confused at every point. So they would do this thing where they would support radical right-wing idealists like William F. Buckley, who was 100% CIA until he died. Tucker Carlson is CIA, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the heir to the Tyson food fortune, Tyson chicken, stuff like that. They support these people. They know they do this. But they also support this radical Marxist named Frantz Fanon, who wrote The Wretched of the Earth and claimed that you should rise up and lay down your life in an act of violence against the state.
So is that would be considered anarchist, right?
No, it's it's a type of Marxism.
Radical vigilantism?
Not vigilantism, it's just saying you should be willing to lay down your life for a revolutionary cause.
Like radical martyrdom.
Yes, to some degree. Not even martyrdom. You should just be willing to do it. You shouldn't need to be a martyr.
Yeah.
In a Marxist sense. He's an interesting guy. Well, they paid for his him to be brought to the U.S. for his cancer treatment before he died. And why? Makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And they were funding all sorts of guys like that. They probably supported Jackson Pollock pretty heavily to create a new era of art. They wanted to create there was an idea of art beyond you didn't need to make it about ideas. You could just do these things. It's so fucking weird. There's a crazy article on it. It's how the CIA influenced art. It's came out in 1995, and they try to affect culture in all these weird ways, and they try to create a hall of mirrors supporting people. They're well, why the fuck are you affiliated with the CIA? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Same with there's a podcast I listen to. It's called Chapo Trap House.
Yeah. I've heard of it. I've never listened.
The bad boy, the dirtbag left, the socialist, whatever. I don't fucking care.
That's about all I know. That
A bunch of them
they are
allege-
considered left.
Yeah, a bunch of people allege they are CIA, which
Really?
I highly doubt. However, they do have a Patreon, and I always think that's it. All you'd have to do is create a shell company to figure out how to make donations to a Patreon.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Why is the CIA elevating that voice, or are they just trying to create the association? So you can do those two things, and both of those just gonna make you call that into question. If you learn that, you'd be that's kind of weird that you're a leftist podcast and you're associated with the CIA. And it's well, we didn't know. And it's yeah, but why are they advocating what you're saying then? Those create these conflicts. But that's deliberate. You can counteract things. It's OPSEC. It's great. A bunch of, most college, most colleges are heavily infiltrated, in that sense.
Of course.
Noam Chomsky works for MIT, for example. And they're why? But also, he got caught up in the Epstein stuff recently, so it's weird.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's hanging out with Epstein's driver, and I'm that's really fucking. I don't really care for Chomsky. He's fine. He wrote. Everyone should read Manufacturing Consent. You should have a loose idea of how that works. It's fine. Blah blah blah. But anyways,
I got spooky for a second while you were talking. That fan over there, the air filter is blowing that sign up there.
Yeah.
What's moving that sign, dude?
Yep.
There's fucking ghosts in here.
There's a Ouija board over there.
Do you know about Smedley Butler?
Never heard of him.
The name sounds very familiar.
Crazy fucking name. There's a bunch of shit named all over Philadelphia for him. There's a Smedley Ave out between Aston and Media, named after him. Smedley Butler was a U.S. military general that was recruited to try to overthrow the U.S. government of FDR in a situation called the Business Plot. And so what happened was he was a Marine soldier for, I think he was in the Spanish-American War, and then he was also part of several other wars up to when we get up to World War II. And he did not, he really was radicalized by all the wars he was involved in, and he wrote this famous book. He's I was a gangster for capital. War is a racket. He was all I've ever been is a gangster for capitalism. He's all I do is go to these other countries, destroy them, so we can come in, buy all the infrastructure, buy the integral stuff.
Sounds about right.
That is exactly what we do. That's what we're doing in Ukraine right now. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing. And these are investment opportunities. That's what happened in Libya. And so he recognizes this and he's very radicalized by it. But during this time, after World War I, a bunch of the soldiers promised this thing called a bonus.
Hold on, is he whistleblowing this or no?
No, he's not a whistleblower. He's just a general in the U.S. Marines. Okay. And he is brought in to help clear out this bonus army that marches on Washington to get their bonuses because it's during the Depression. They want their money. He doesn't really take part of it. But one General Douglas MacArthur leads it, along with his secretary, like assistant, whatever the fuck it is, one Dwight D. Eisenhower. So this is like a weird like nexus point. Real quick before I forget this, actually I just remembered. Smedley Butler also created the Philadelphia Police Force. But like actually it's like a public service. Like he really wanted he created the modern police force for Philadelphia.
Really?
Like they created all these like efficient systems. Like he was like really part of like prohibition, getting like part of that crackdown. Sometime after that march on Washington by the bonus army, he is met by these guys just doing outreach, a messenger for someone. And they're like, we want you to give this speech to the American Legion, which is an anti-communist organization first. That most people don't know that.
American Legion is?
American Legion is created by the federal government. Like it's created by like insane like right wingers in like the 1930s. So it's like people who think like some insane stuff about eugenics create the American Legion to try and like control troops. That's really what it is, to get guys that came back from World War I and like control their opinions and thoughts. It was American Legion's not the actual history of it. American Legion is like pretty well known as like a right wing org in that sense, like in like the general sense, but also like it's a part of the state in a weird way.
It's so weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I played American Legion baseball.
I'm a member of the American Legion.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm a Moose Lodge member.
My family's part of like the American Legion, which I'm like, whatever. I'm not like, whatever, do whatever you want. He's reached out to by these people who want him to give this special speech about how the president needs to be taken aside and given assistance during this time of struggle and to get us back on the gold standard, not take us off it, which is something that's trying to happen at that time. And like all this specific stuff. And he's like, what the fuck? No, I'm not. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Like, this sounds fucked up. And it turns out it's these millionaire bankers, notably one George H.W. Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush, creator of Buckeye Casting in Columbus, Ohio, which they get called New Englanders and they're like Ohio white trash. I love it. Like their grandfather and their dad, are all.
It's so weird.
Because you know what, Prescott Bush was selling weapons to the fucking Nazis and doing a bunch of banking when he's legally not supposed to.
Yeah.
And which, like, whatever, that's never stopped anyone. The Bushes are fucking evil. It's fine.
They say that Prescott Bush is a common ancestor of the Obama family.
Probably. Well, they're Mayflower family. So
yeah.
Mayflower family meaning people that can trace their lineage directly to the original the original log of the Mayflower. So yeah, they pretty much, like, one of the conspirators in this plot allegedly to overthrow the government of the United States is this guy who says he's like, I have $30 million. I think it's the heir to the sewing machine fortune. God, I can't. Yeah. He's like, he tells him, he's like, I have $30 million and I will spend up to half of it if it means I can keep it. And I'm like, well, then you're a fucking idiot. Why would you had $30 million. Why are you spending $15 million to overthrow the government? That doesn't work. And the plot fails because Smedley Butler gives a speech from Newtown Square in PA, just right outside media, and from his home, just disclosing everything about this. And then there's a hearing in Congress, and they pretty much conclude, they're like, there was 100% a plot to overthrow the government. That's it. We're not doing anything about it. And it's just like, what
the fuck?
Yeah, the business plot it's called the business plot. It is just insane. And
what happened to him?
What, Smedley Butler?
How'd he die?
He just kind of died of old age. The war, I think he died right after the war ended, or right before it. Because I think he would have had some really strong opinions about the atomic weapons.
Speaking of, have you seen Oppenheimer?
I did the double feature. I saw
Barbenheimer special.
King of Prussia, saw Barbie.
I just saw Oppenheimer like last week on Wednesday.
And then I saw Oppenheimer in film, 70mm IMAX.
What'd you think?
It's fine.
Really?
I wasn't that impressed with it in a lot of capacities. I was just like, this is a fine movie. It's fine. I'll put it on.
Do you think it was accurate?
You know, the thing I would have liked for them to show in it was all the fucking Nazis we were bringing here after World War II. They don't talk about, like, really, like, when he's in those trials and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, they made that crutch the Lewis Strauss confirmation. And I was like, whatever. I think it would have been a better crutch for them to, like, lean on, like, the Nazis. Oppenheimer was an ardent, like, anti-Nazi, like, bringing them here at all. So I think that would have been a better dynamic, would have been a better story. And then you get the story you want. And it's like, whatever, the Lewis Strauss one works okay. But I actually really don't think, I think the story isn't like really cogent that way. Like, I don't think it flows properly. The moral message isn't really following. Also, I got yelled at because I just started cackling in the theater when they did that I Have Become Death, Destroyer of Worlds line from the first one when he's getting sloppy toppy from Florence Pugh. And I'm just
I was surprised they used that at that moment.
that is the funniest thing on earth.
I was waiting for that to, because
He's like, this would be so sad.
Because historically he says that when the bomb is getting tested.
I would believe it if he's like, I just got laid for the first time.
He's fucking a woman, and he says the term "I have become death, destroyer of worlds." He didn't say that historically until he put the bomb off.
I
right?
would believe he said it. I would believe he said it. It's so funny if he did. Also, Emily Blunt looks weird in that movie. I feel like she got
that woman he's fucking.
No, Emily Blunt's his wife in the movie.
Oh, because that woman.
Have you seen Emily Blunt outside of like
No.
that movie? She got like something done. She looks weird now. I don't know what the fuck.
I thought she looked weird in the movie.
Well, that's fine, but apparently no. She got like, I think she got like facial surgery. I'm like, she looks weird now. I'm like, what?
Are you into clones?
What?
Are you into the clone theories?
Clone theories are weird. I love the
Like Jamie Foxx recently with all that shit.
You know, I watched the movie that caused him to have a stroke. God is a Bullet by Boston. It's a book by Boston Tehran. I had my friend read it for me recently, so I could like learn and see if it was worth reading. He had a massive stroke on that film. That thing's fucking nuts. I originally wanted to watch that movie because Andrew Dice Clay is in it.
I have not heard of that.
It's not good. Don't even bother. It's like the
Andrew Dice Clay is in. What the fuck is he
Andrew
doing?
Dice Clay's done movies.
I know. I just can't imagine what
he was in Star Is Born recently.
I haven't seen that.
He plays her dad.
Yeah, he's the father of Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
I met him.
More like Andrew Dice Clay.
I met him for like a second up in the stand.
This is a weird thing. My coworker at the bar, or like my friend's met Andrew Dice Clay multiple times because her friend's sister is Eleanor Kerrigan.
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, who's from Philly. Yeah, sorry, I don't know why that struggled.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like, yeah, it's one connection really.
I love the way he talks about Eleanor.
Yeah, she rocks.
Yeah,
I saw her live recently. She opened. Yeah, it was great.
She's fucking
yeah.
Yeah, she's wicked.
She's very funny.
No, so I was really hoping to get to meet. I'm hoping to get to meet her and Andrew Dice Clay. I actually want to meet her more. It's kind of sad now because I'm like, man, Andrew Dice Clay is old. I will do this real quick plug. So I am going to be starting a podcast here soon. Hopefully, I've just been busy.
Yeah,
It'll be called Weird Shit with Weirkus.
No, it's going to be called American Guilt, which I will just be going into deep politics, film reviews, anything. I'll be doing tons of stuff. It's not really a comedy podcast, but I'm probably going to have a guest on. It's just going to be me talking into a mic for 3 hours, freaking people out.
I love that.
Yeah.
And like I'm going to probably follow a basic like Patreon model, like one free, one on Patreon. And I have like episodes planned around like the assassination of Dennis Kucinich, who was RFK's campaign manager currently. He was mayor of Cleveland, who was
I'm curious about that whole situation a little bit.
Yeah, with RFK.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about RFK in 1 second. I love RFK so much. He's so stupid. No,
he's fucking shredded.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing American Guilt. It's going to be just me. We're going to probably bring a comic on. I'll like talk about something and like I want someone to talk to and layman them too, like so like they can get freaked out. Yeah. Yeah, I do this to people all the time where I just end up they're like, "Well, how does this thing work?" And I'm like, and like I've got a bunch of different stuff planned out. I've got some like series episodes I want to do, like mini series type stuff. I'm gonna try and bank like 20 episodes before I put it out, and like I'm gonna do like dedicated Program to Kill episodes. I'm gonna do all sorts of weird shit, and just try to freak people out with stuff. Like and like I forgot to mention him even once, but like one of the main influences on me is this professor named Dr. Michael Parenti. He wrote this book called The Assassination of Julius Caesar, which is a really great critique of history. How it's accounted for. Historians hate it. And he wrote that book, and he eviscerates like a lot of like, he's like almost all of history is written by like the wealthiest psychos in our fucking culture, and they control the narrative. And he's not good, but like Caesar was great overall. Like he was a fairly revolutionary leader, and like they assassinated him pretty much due to like nothing to do with democratic views and values. No, just because they were invested in their class interests. And like he's He's a Marxist.
And the Senate obviously is invested in the class interests. That's why the Senate
directly, because there's a pedocracy. It's an insane fucking government. But yeah, so he wrote that book. He also wrote Black Shirts and Reds, which is like one of the most like famous, like it's a great book. It's his most famous piece of work about fascism. He's a lecture that I highly recommend if anyone wants it. It's the history of like what the root causes of fascism. It's one of the most like influential like speeches I've ever listened to. That and JFK and the Gangster State. JFK and the Gangster State is one of his best lectures of all time, and I love it. It's just I recommend it to everyone just to understand something that you don't know. And so
it's awesome.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna probably do it. He's probably gonna die here in the next couple of years. He was like best friends with Bernie Sanders. He stopped being friends with Bernie because Bernie.
You affiliate with Sanders and like the ideology and everything?
You said you got into a lot of this being a big Bernie.
In 2016, I was just like, I fucking hate Hillary Clinton.
Do you still have the same opinions of Bernie?
He's disappointed me. It's fine though. Listen, I don't know what I want from one 80-year-old guy in the Senate. It's kind of our fault.
Do you think his role has shifted drastically?
I mean, he's trying to do the best he can. I know that. Like, I good faith versus bad faith. I know he's acting in good faith. So it's just like I can't get too upset. I can't put all my hopes on a fucking single senator or like democratic systems. If you believe in like revolutionary politics or anything like that, you can't be like, man, can't wait for to vote myself out of hell. It's great. They're like, well, when's the election? It's like, oh, it's never happening. It's like, yeah, what the fuck? No, I'm not doing that. Like I just I refuse. And like it's like I don't fuck with the Democrats. They fucking suck. And there's no hope with those people. And it's just like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna wait for things to get weird, I guess. Or not. So like, I identified with the Sanders movement. I don't fuck with Elizabeth Warren. Fuck her also. Not because she's a woman, because she sucks. She says like, I'm never going to take super PAC money. What'd she do? She took fucking super PAC money. She's like, well, it's different because I'm a woman. And it's like, you fucking bitch.
What do you think about Palin?
Dude, she's so hot.
Rockin' tits.
Did you see that picture that was just like, guys, can I say something without anyone getting mad?
Have you heard the theories about her daughters and whose child is who? And
oh, I'm sure it's some crazy situation.
Like, there's like a belief that like
I don't really like to get mad at people for that stuff though.
One of her, I think her third daughter, a lot of people believe is actually, they believe that is actually the teen pregnancy child of her oldest daughter.
I wouldn't be surprised by that, but you know what? I don't need to get into that conspiracy because I think it's fucked up. I think it's fine when people do that because it's just like that happens. Jack Nicholson is that. The people he thought were his parents were his grandparents. His older sister was his mom, actually. Like
crazy.
That's not a crazy thing.
I've never heard
that's a suicide thing. This is a weird thing with suicide stuff. People think the police, like I know I talk about like the police lie all the time and try to throw stuff around. Like if they can get it out of doing their job in that sense, like they're gonna do it. It's gonna be if they can pin murders on other people, great. But suicides, a lot of people have situations that don't make sense that happen to them. I knew someone that they said a tree fell on him. I'm like, no, the guy fucking hung himself in the woods. But it's like, you can't report that he committed suicide. Like, they're not, they don't need to do that. Like, what's that get? And so, like, which is actually kind of a nice function the police have. Like, it's actually nice that they have that ability to, like, do some discretion. And I'm not, like, all for it. But it's, like, it's kind of good when, like, sad things happen. And you just don't want to be like, hey, like, this person killed themselves.
I don't know why that just made me think of the farmer that shot himself.
Yeah, like, you get 50-year-old
down the street from the Heritages. Remember the old man?
70-year-old old guys who just like their wife dies and they're like, I want to be gone. I don't want to be here. They'll kill themselves. They'll be like, oh, they died of sadness. It's like, no, those old guys who die after their wife dies.
They call it the melancholy.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Like, there's not much. I don't know. Like, there's like weird conspiracy stuff like that where it's like a lot of it, like you can't attribute to malice that which you can attribute to sheer stupidity. Mm-hmm. But sometimes there is like some weird like humanity to some things that's like, fuck, I don't know, maybe. Maybe they didn't kill that guy.
This entire episode makes me feel like Raymond's gonna go take a piss and he's gonna get murder-suicided.
Dude.
Like, Raymond, please don't get murder-suicided. Roscoe, Jesus Christ.
Flipping your bird up.
It was Roscoe. Roscoe did it.
Goddamn.
How can we prove it?
I'm a big advocate for having dogs and animals around. Like, when I live out in the middle of nowhere in the country, you get paranoid about shit.
They can sense shit. They sense shit that we don't.
And then when they do, and you're like, oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
dude. I had that feeling on the back of my neck, and you have it now, too? You probably had it longer than I have. It's very weird when your animals sense the exact same sensation.
Well, especially when you're on a farm in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, at 12 o'clock at night.
Well, we grew up in the farms. We grew up in... I don't want to live on the farms. I'm so done with the farms. You know what fucked me up was the Jersey Devil a lot growing up.
You know what fucked me up? Signs.
Yeah, because Stein is based out there, right?
What, in Ohio? It's in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Isn't
All
it?
his movies take place around Philadelphia.
Yeah, I always forget that shit. In The Happening, that little place that they break into, that little like breakfast lodge. It's called the G Lodge. I've been there. It's an active diner.
Nice.
It's very cool. It's a very weird thing that M.
Oh.
Night Shyamalan writes a lot of his stories and everything based off the footage in those areas.
Your brother won't mind missing this.
No.
Do you ever see that? Did you see that movie Amsterdam that came out recently?
Heard of it? What is it about?
That's about the business plot. Fundamentally, you should not give money to David O. Russell, the guy who directed it. If you can pirate that movie or watch it on HBO like everyone else. Amsterdam is a movie that came out like in 2021, 2022. It stars John David Washington, Christian Bale. Robert De Niro plays a Smedley Butler type. He doesn't play Smedley Butler, but by the way, Smedley, fucking guy who knows his shit. Robert De Niro, he is fucking pilled. He knows his stuff.
Really?
He made a movie called The Good Shepherd. Insane movie with Matt Damon. It's all about James. It's a parallel of James Jesus Angleton. I just want to recommend that movie. But Robert De Niro knows something. He's in. He's a cool dude. He's like fuck this place. These people.
That's surprising, honestly.
I don't know. I'm not too shocked. He's always been like really left. He's first off, everyone always forgets Robert De Niro is married to an African American woman, and they tend to share radical politics together. I don't think it's like George Lucas and his wife, but
yeah.
But yeah, Robert De Niro is married to an African. Or was.
Poor George Lucas, man. He's falling apart, like mentally though. Do you see him in public a lot now?
I think he's just an old. He was always weird.
I know he's just an old scared man though.
He's like long been alleged to be like incredibly autistic.
Yeah,
I'd believe it.
He has like that weird like high. There's a thing with like autism. Some people get like they have that weird high pitched voice.
Yeah.
There's like a weird like vocal tick that some people have that have autism. It's weird.
No way, really?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's like poetry. They rhyme.
Weird.
Yeah. So like, but yeah, Amsterdam. Yeah. Fuck David O. Russell. He sucks. He made Silver Linings Playbook. He makes a bunch of Philadelphia-based movies.
Yeah.
I Eat at the Diner that they show in that film, Lanark.
Yeah.
And there's a little thing in their booth. And like, I'm so freaked out by I'm paranoid. I used to work as a bouncer for like 6 years.
Yeah, so did I.
And like, I like.
Do you assess rooms still?
Yes,
you still walk.
I was a lifeguard before that, so it doesn't help. Like you're already scanning.
Yeah.
You want your brains on that, and so like I will sit, if I go to a restaurant, I want to be looking at the door. I don't like when people are behind me, so I can get a back booth with a wall behind me and the door, looking at the door.
I like being able to see people's hands. I like to be able to see. I like to be able to see this and up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, my job was people get into a fight. Let's remove the weapons and protect everybody.
Yeah.
Or go in there and fight somebody and then drag them out.
Yeah. And so like I would get like I eat at that place. It's called Lanark Diner in Drexel Hill. It is awesome. It's only 24. Only like 24-hour diners left in Philly.
Nice.
I highly recommend it. I get these fucking. I get eggs Benedict.
Oh my god.
You okay over there?
That's my favorite fucking diner dish ever, dude.
Well, eggs Benedict or eggs Montreal, which is eggs Montreal has lox on it.
What?
It fucking rocks,
dude.
Fucking
so
what?
we've talked about this before.
Together.
Yeah, we should get some food together.
I'm a fat fuck. I get so drunk and eat $30 worth of Taco Bell in my car in 12 minutes.
Weird. Ohio and South Jersey sound like the same place, dude.
They are. Every time I talk to Pete, I'm like you and I are the same. We were talking about I want to go to Cowtown.
Oh my god,
dude, we should go hang out in Cowtown.
We're from there, by the way.
Hell yeah.
We've gone to those. Yeah,
I want to go to Cowtown. I learned about Cowtown. I'm like, I gotta go.
So that's the fucked up thing about Baltimore and the Baltimore. I think it's when you leave the Northeast. I mean, they consider Jersey and Philly mid-Atlantic, but culturally, it's like that Northeast thing where they have that diner culture.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing in this city. They don't do diners like that. Nothing stays open late.
Well, and COVID fucked it bad too on any 24-hour place. And so Lanark being the only one that's still like around, can't beat it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a big Monte Cristo person. Big Monte Cristo. Also, we used to have a place, Colonial Diner in Jersey, right over the bridge.
Okay.
Bee sting chicken fingers.
Okay.
In-house blend. Homemade blue cheese.
Fuck yeah. God damn.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey,
Hey,
what else you got?
JFK, when Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK, he was 24 years old. I think everyone should know that. Like, anyone who's never had doubts about the JFK assassination should know he was 24 years old when he did that and had been heavily affiliated with FBI people and CIA. He was probably FBI more than the CIA. But, like, that and...
You wrote up how accomplished he was for being 24 years old for no reason.
Yeah, he was, I mean, he fluent in Russian, fucking...
What school did you say he went to?
He went to Monterey School of Languages, where you can only get in if you're a fucking Fed. Like, you have to, like... He was at Atsu. There's a photo of John Wayne at a military base in, I think, either Japan. I think it's the Atsugi military base in Japan. He's visiting a military base, and in the background is Lee Harvey Oswald, just of a photo of John Wayne. It is fucking crazy. So that's just a weird thing, and it's just like, I always like, if you ever have any doubts about that fucking assassination, you should just know that to begin with.
Yeah.
And go from there. Since we're in Baltimore, my favorite Go Birds type guy, John Wilkes Booth, who also shot a president around like 20, I think he was 27 when he shot the president. I always just like to imagine he's like, go Birds, right before because I like imagine with a Dundalk accent, fucking assassinating. He's from Baltimore. He's full.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because they do say go Birds. I just realized what you're saying.
His grave is like not far from here.
Yeah.
I was just at a show the other night. Someone said to me, he's like, this guy is from Philly. He's like, is the only place where Baltimore doesn't feel bad about their accents. Because they all have the same accents.
Yeah, they all fucking,
We have the exact same accents. Yo, dude.
Which it's awesome because I do not have any accent. So it's just like, Southern Ohio doesn't really have a regional accent. It's really weird.
No, I've noticed that.
Southern Ohio does, but I don't have it because my mom's from Philly and my dad's a military brat. The military people don't really fucking have them. So I really haven't. I sometimes I'll start to slip into talking about Southern Ohio.
Do you get into like any other crazy stuff like time travel?
Time travel's stupid. There's no point in trying to figure it out because here's the thing. Like once I understood, you have to be able to travel through time and space.
Like all the people, like there's those weird pictures of like future man, like those weird pictures of like the future men.
You can't believe
it'll be like people that like pop up in like 20s, 30s pictures, where it'll be a fucking guy.
Yeah.
Holding, wearing, present
day
clothing.
Yeah, the watch. Yeah, the watch ones are really common. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Those guys are like lame to me because it's just like the issue is like a lot of those photos aren't that old. Actually, it turns out that almost always turns out it's like it's a photo thing that we didn't understand.
Yeah,
or someone like it was a set photo for something. It's just like none of that stuff actually really goes the way you would think.
I'm gullible.
It's fine. Like, and it's fine. My issue with time travel, like that should eliminate it from your mind entirely as a possibility. You have to be able to travel through time and space. So if you had a time travel portal right in here right now, or a machine, if you walk through it, we are on a rock spinning hundreds of miles an hour through space. Where we are currently right now is not this. We are hundreds of miles away from where we were right now.
Yeah.
You would be there. You'd be dead in space. So like that's it. That's what makes like. And so unless you can move through time and space, which we don't know how you would do that. And so like that's why I'm like I don't really engage in time travel. Also, I hate when it shows up in like Marvel and shit now because I'm just like always an indicator of a thriving franchise and you got to rely on multiverse and time travel. I like them. I'm not against them, but it's just like the stakes are low. When you add multiverse and you add time travel to any story, you lower the stakes automatically. It's not good narratively. The Time Machine, great movie. I like it. Stuff like that's fine. Like it is fine to have that, but it's mainly just so they don't have to. They can be lazy and write poorly.
What do you think of the movie The Jumpers?
The Jumpers? Or
the guys that can like jump from different parts of the world.
Jumper, yeah, with Hayden Christensen from right? No, right? Yeah, it's Hayden Christensen.
So, yeah.
That was such a fun little concept movie. It was a comic movie.
Yeah.
It was fine. I like small concept.
It's a very fringe introduction into astral projection.
Yes, yeah. I also really like my stupid like superhero movie that I love is The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, I love that.
Sucks dick. It is so bad.
I know. I love the invisible guy. The invisible.
Yes, he was awesome. It's
one of the best invisible characters that's been done because most of them are bullshit.
Yeah,
I didn't
watch that new one with Elizabeth Moss. It's like, what if a woman was crazy? No, I'm kidding. No, they're all beautiful baby girls. They've never done anything wrong.
Did we hit that whole list?
Kind of. I've got some other loose things I could just hit you with. I was starting to talk about John Wilkes Booth for no real reason other than I was in Baltimore and I just think it's awesome. I've got the JFK assassination, not specifically that, but the Warren Commission. I have a lot of issues with the Warren Commission. Pretty much everyone that was on it went on to go on to further success. You have Stephen Breyer, if you don't know that name, that's the Supreme Court justice who just retired recently and was replaced by Ketanji Brown. He was a clerk on that court case, like on the Warren Commission. That's weird.
That's fucking crazy.
Gerald Ford was he was actually pretty relevant in the government. Like he was, I think, House Minority Leader from government. He was a congressman from Michigan. Still the only guy who was never elected to the presidency or vice presidency, which I've got beef with.
Yeah,
President football. But Arlen Specter is the most notable one. Arlen Specter was the senator from Pennsylvania who famously flipped parties in 2008 to the Democrats to give Obama a 60 vote proof majority. Like he could veto proof majority in the fucking Senate.
Was that out of left field?
Yes. Arlen Specter was kind of like okay on stuff. He was moderate Republican in a lot of ways, but he's the one who came up with the single bullet theory for the Warren Commission, which is impossible. There is no way one single bullet could have done that. Just in general, like there is no fucking way.
That's crazy that that's the same person.
So Arlen Specter, yeah. So like,
how is that the same?
Who later goes on
person?
to be a fucking U.S. senator, one of the most relevant ones.
How long did his wife live? JFK?
Jackie?
Yeah.
So
what was her role in her position?
There's a really fucked up
after
story.
everything?
Who's the guy who ran Hustler? Larry, the People versus something. What's a famous movie? I'm trying to fucking remember. Hustler. It was Hustler. Someone took like nude photos of her, and they were not good. Just for if anyone's curious. And they like put them
She
in.
was a fucking bag of trash. Go ahead.
They put them in. They put them in.
Hustler.
Yeah, she got like. It was fucked up. It was fucked up what they did to her. So
Larry Claxton Flint Jr.
Larry Flint. People versus Larry Flint's the movie. Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So she married Aristotle Onassis, a shipping magnate from Greece, who was a total fucking psycho and like was horrible. They pretty much like married her off, which was like right after her husband died. It's insane they did that to her. And JFK Jr., another guy who was probably killed by the government just for fun. I actually don't think there was a reason behind it. Like,
I wonder if the family
he died in a plane crash.
Yeah. I wonder if the family just ever showed any evidence of pursuance and like.
So RFK Jr. Well, not RFK Jr. Oh yeah, we'll do RFK and we'll do RFK Jr. I guess because I'd love to talk about the election. That's gonna be great.
Kill dude. The way RFK dies makes me so sad.
RFK is the easiest one. It is 100% assassination.
Makes me sad because I like RFK. I like RFK.
Actually, he was probably a bigger dick than his brother, which is kind of wild. Because he went after the fucking unions, and I'm like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up, man. Everyone always bitches out the unions because they were affiliated with the mob. You know who else was fucking affiliated with the mob? Everyone fucking else.
Yeah.
So it's just like fuck
Your
right up.
bosses.
Yeah, listen, don't play nice. Charles de Gaulle, the president of France and like the hero of like World War II, he like knew there was like a deep state actor. He had multiple assassination attempts against him. I think it's like over like 30. It might be 60. I might be forgetting. Charles de Gaulle, they tried to assassinate him multiple times. The U.S. government 100% tried to assassinate him, and it was because he wanted to pull out of Algeria and Vietnam. And they said, if you think that we were willing to assassinate de Gaulle over Algeria and Vietnam, we wouldn't fucking assassinate Kennedy. Like, just fucking do that thought process right there. But anyways, he knew there was a deep state faction within France. And so he formed his own fucking hit squad to kill those guys. And so he was smart. JFK made the mistake of trusting our people too much. He should have fucking had a bunch of other people killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he's the actual like badass goat that he is, and should have just worked with the mob and had all these fucking actors killed. But anyways, RFK. RFK is really easy to understand. There's a book that I will always recommend. It's a Lie Too Big to Fail by Lisa Pease. She's a basic lib, but she believes in this one thing really heavily, and she's correct. And like, so it's like, you can take that. You shouldn't take her on any of her other weird politics shit. I don't understand it, whatever. And she did this big investigation on it. She pretty much concluded that Sirhan Sirhan, the assassinator of RFK, that's in prison for it and has gone up for parole. He's like almost 90 years old now.
Yeah.
He went into the hospital after getting hurt. He's a jockey. He felt the horse broke his leg, and he was in the hospital. It seems like during that time, they did mind control experiments on him. They would take him out to a shooting range after he healed, and he would shoot at a paper tiger with a gun. They got him to do it under hypnotism, and they put him in a hypnotic trance, and he would go to shoot at it, like even without the gun in his hand. It's wild. And a
paper tiger. Why a paper tiger?
It's just like a paper like target.
Okay.
So that's what is alleged. RFK wins the California primary in 1968. Mm. He's going to be the presidential nominee. When he met Khrushchev before that, he said, "We can't do anything about Jack being assassinated right now. My wife and I believe, we know it's not you guys. It was a right-wing coup inside the United States of oil interests and fucking, with whatever. They don't really need to mention the mob. The mob's not really part of it. That's just the CIA."
Those are just the hands being, used.
Yeah, it's just, they're just the CIA. Like, there is no mob.
They're just the extension.
Yeah. And so, he tells them that. He's like, we'll deal with it when I run for president, which is wild. Like, that's a wild thing to wait. And he then runs for president, wins the California primary, is going to be president. Like, he's going to be the nominee at least. I don't know if he wins in 1968, but he is walking through the Ambassador Hotel in California, where Sirhan Sirhan works in the kitchen. Sirhan Sirhan jumps up on a table, fires a gun, more bullets are found and more bullet holes are found than the gun can hold. I think it's like 13 and the gun can't even hold that. And when people said he fired the gun, there were flashes coming from it. Now, guns don't produce flashes, but blanks do. So that's just a weird thing. And they believe he was put under a hypnotic trance to shoot at the president. Well, the presidential nominee. While the guy who was walking right behind him is one Thane Eugene Caesar, who is a Cuban immigrant who was kicked out of Cuba, right-wing Cuban guy, who is holding him right here, like, and RFK is like right against him on his left. RFK dies from a bullet going in behind his right ear. Sirhan shoots him from the front. So
doesn't line up.
It doesn't. No, it's pretty clear. It's like Thane Eugene Caesar most likely shot and killed RFK.
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, that's, yeah. But like also like crazy thing is like you have Gerald Ford gets shot by a Manson family member, Squeaky Fromm, who just, I think was let out on parole. And then you have Reagan getting shot by John Hinckley Jr., who is the son of one George H.W. Bush's best friend.
The Hinkleys. Yeah, they're connected.
They're an oil family.
Yeah.
John Hinckley Jr. had schizophrenia and like was probably brainwashed into shooting Reagan. There's a book called Family Secrets. I highly recommend the Chapo Trap House series, Poppy, parts 1 through 3. They use that accounting of the book. They talk about Watergate. They talk about all sorts of stuff. They're nuts. And pretty much like H.W. Bush is like this nexus of evil. He is, which is probably true. Like H.W. Bush is fucking a monster. Well, he lied about being in the CIA and then was made the director. And it's like he had been in the CIA forever.
Yeah.
Anytime you see someone quit the CIA, like normally they'll quit around their mid-30s and they'll start a private business. He starts to pot of oil during that time. It's just like, it's all, you're with the CIA still always. And he's just fucking wild. Like there's a major conspiracy that he killed JFK actually.
I've heard that before too.
Because he doesn't, there's a memo from J. Edgar Hoover. I think it goes something, don't quote me on this, but it's, this is all me doing this from memory. I swear my podcast will have way deeper research. I won't just make approximate claims. And like, this has been debunked. He always claims he didn't know where he was on 11/22/63 while he was running for Congress in Texas, I believe.
Of course he's there.
Yeah. Well, actually, in Dallas that day, President Nixon was there that day.
There's
getting
a lot
speech
of
for
people
Pepsi
who were
Cola.
there.
Yeah, I know, dude.
Well, everyone people always forget, like, Nixon was the vice president for Eisenhower. Most people don't know that. So it's like, everyone's like, what the fuck was Nixon doing there? It's like, well, because he was a relevant political figure still.
Yeah.
But he was giving a speech to PepsiCo at that time. There were 4 people who would go on to be president in Dallas that day when JFK is assassinated.
So fucking weird.
And so anyways, yeah, they all got a front row fucking seat for what happens.
That's
And
crazy.
like, hey, just a heads up. You want to be president? Get in line.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Actually, fuck, another guy who spooked up out of fucking out the blue. Obama, his mother is 100% CIA. Also, Dave Chappelle's mom. She probably helped kill the president of Ghana.
What? That's a weird one, dude.
Dave Chappelle's family is like DC like aristocracy.
Very weird.
Liberated slaves who like really moved up really quick in the hierarchy. Yeah, his mom was like 100%. Why can I not remember the president of Ghana that was assassinated? Oh, Patrice Lumumba. That's his name. Fuck, I could not remember that.
You brought up an interesting one earlier. I had brought up Napoleon being Italian to him. You brought up some stuff about the French Connection.
Oh, yeah. So I talked about Daniel Ellsberg for a second earlier. Daniel Ellsberg was a leaker. Oh, fuck. I'll talk about leakers and then I'll pivot back into Daniel Ellsberg. I fucking hate Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden's bullshit. Fuck Edward Snowden. You heard me, folks. Edward Snowden is a fucking liar. Like, he is 100% that the NSA was spying on you. Yeah, but so is every private organization, like Google. Like, Google reads every fucking thing you have now.
Yeah.
They did that with Gmail. That was the revolutionary part of Gmail. There's a book by Yasha Levine. It's called Surveillance Valley. It's an incredible book. He goes just through the history. He's like, if Snowden knew that they were spying on you, the NSA was spying on you, he also knew that every other fucking Silicon Valley group, everyone, he's like, he knew they had so much more. And it was because he was an advocate for this thing called Tor, which is like a darknet type thing.
Yeah.
Which he's like, you can't be tracked on there. And it's like, you 100% fucking can, because it was made by the goddamn CIA.
Yeah.
And so like, that's what was up. It was just trying to push all those outsiders onto another website. That's really all that was. It was, and also like probably to the benefit of private business. Google and all of them were very annoyed that the NSA was spying on people because it's like, that's our fucking thing. Please don't do that. We want the government to be dependent on us. Outsource that out to us. That's a regular thing they do. And so, yeah, Yasha Levine, Surveillance Valley. That's just a weird thing. Fuck Edward Snowden.
Interesting.
So Daniel Ellsberg was the guy who did the Pentagon Papers leak. He revealed that we had known since I think like the year after the war started that we could not win the war in Vietnam. Like just based off manpower, hours alone, all those. These are these very complex algorithms that they can do to calculate exactly what things are going to cost. And there's just no way we could win.
Yeah.
So Daniel Ellsberg leaked that information to the Washington Post. Nixon had his plumbers break into his psychiatrist's office and get his records to reveal that like Daniel Ellsberg was a crazy person, blah, blah, blah. Well, when Daniel Ellsberg was over in Vietnam, though, which fuck Daniel Ellsberg also, like he knew like the Vietnam War was bad from the fucking start. I don't think you get radicalized by that. Like he was upper level management and should know this. He was probably controlled opposition in this one capacity. They probably let him get away with some of that, some certain factors in like the liberal or the dovish side of the government. And he was hooking up with this Corsican drug dealer's woman. The Corsican drug dealers were heroin traffickers operating in the Golden Triangle, which is Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. They were trafficking heroin out and selling it abroad. That later showed up in a movie called The French Connection starring Gene Hackman. Great movie where these French, which are just Corsican, drug dealers are trafficking heroin into the United States. And that's where that came from. It was just like common knowledge that like Corsican, like this was something that was happening during the war. Like the heroin trafficking of the Vietnam War is like highly never like covered.
I love that the movie American Gangster brings it up. It actually like it kind of like it's your first glimpse into it. It kind of like lets you know what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge drug traffickers. That's just how that one works. It's just that's crazy with that. Yeah. RFK Jr. Yes. I listened to that 3.5 hour fucking episode with Rogan that he did. And I felt dumber. I think people should listen to it though.
I haven't.
It's interesting.
I've heard some people say he's a fucking idiot. Like that's an opinion of some people.
He's kind of an idiot.
What's his story? What's up with his vocal cords?
He got that from doing injecting himself with drugs, and he got hepatitis.
He claims it's the COVID vaccine.
No, he doesn't claim that's from COVID.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He's like, no, I was sucking dick in a bus stop.
No way.
I was sucking dick in a
No
bus stop.
way.
Me and RFK were sucking dick in a bus stop. Yeah. Dude, it's fucked up. He has like a 20% approval rating in like the polls right now. Like at the polling, like he could fuck up. Like,
do you think he's a good guy or a bad guy?
RFK is a fucking idiot. First off, here's the first thing you should know. His son is married to a CIA agent.
Okay.
How can you go around saying like, oh, I don't know if I'd be safe if I had the CIA watching me? And it's like, motherfucker, your son is literally married to a CIA agent. Like, shut the fuck up.
I actually laugh sometimes when
he's like the fakest of the Kennedys. I really don't like him.
I actually had to do work in the DC area the other day, and I had to go to a guy's house who claimed he works for the NSA. And I think it's funny how like
there's a lot of people around here that work for the NSA.
Specifically around here, yeah.
In my head, I'm picturing him to be this like computer buff, smart guy and everything.
Yeah.
Had no cameras on his house, and had issues with using his own cell phone.
I believe that.
I was like, interesting.
Upper level management, yes, I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
He's got fucking guys for it. He doesn't need to figure that shit out.
I was just like, I was very interested by it. I'm like, man, you do not seem like you work for the NSA. I pictured you having a fucking earpiece that looks at my dick while we're talking. You know what I mean?
Why would he do that? Sounds gay.
I don't know, man.
You're like, why aren't you having gay? That sounds like somebody saying something more about you.
Hey, man, I was just trying to get some
oh
good
my
pictures.
God, wouldn't it be fucked up if I went in here and you looked at my dick?
No, dude, it was just like weird. I really expected like a house with cameras. He didn't even have a ring.
There's no point.
Why? Because he has a satellite, probably.
No, there's just no fucking point. Like, why? What is he gonna glean from that? He's like, why would I be paranoid? The government's watching me all the time anyway. What
I
the
got
fuck?
fat weights in my house. I'm paranoid.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the guy who does it. Like, I'm the one that orders this shit. I used to see a girl though whose cousin is high level CIA, like not listed as an employee, high level CIA. And she's like, yeah, her husband was in the DEA and she used to be in the DEA. And I'm like, that's weird. She's like, yeah, they went to Afghanistan. And I'm like, that's your cousin trafficked heroin. What the fuck are you telling? I was so scared talking to her. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
you can bleep this one out. Does something for the State Department that I don't know what he does. And he's a fucking like handsome California looking kid that's like tall and charismatic and somehow has a CIA job. and he was like
I believe it.
a pothead idiot growing up my entire life, and I don't get it.
I have another friend that's like getting a PhD, and like I was like, dog, they're gonna try and recruit you for CIA. You know that, right? Like they do that all the time. They love going to academia. Like academia, the original CIA was like incredibly liberal, quote unquote, but it's just like, yeah, but we're American nationalists, so we're gonna advocate, destroying everywhere else.
Yeah.
And they would come up with these insane strategies. Like all those MK Ultra guys were like Harvard, MIT, and like a bunch of them are like liberals. And like it's a very commonly misconceived. Like the conservative parts of those parts are the guys who are on the ground doing shit normally. But like, yeah, like anyways.
I have a friend too. At one point, I had to be interviewed by a embassy worker because she had put me down as a recommendation for a person as a character, like a character reference. Person couldn't tell me what she did.
Yep.
Couldn't tell me what she was being interviewed for, only that she was getting clearance and having a character reference being done for an embassy position.
Which is why they use you though, like because normally you would use another government worker.
So it was they were interviewing her childhood friends.
Yeah,
It was so weird. Like
they make sure they're not going to get infiltrated.
Yeah, no, they
got good stuff on that.
They interviewed me and a couple other her like friends from being on the school bus. It was very weird, and it was like probably like late 70s chubby white guy who had like a fucking government badge, and he's like, yeah, I have to go to another city from here.
Oh, he in person. Oh shit, yeah, those are the real
ones. He came to my job. He's like, hey sir, my name's so and so. I have to do an interview for so and so. I know you work over here at the so and so place. Like I was like, yeah, okay, holy fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, is it okay if I stop by your work one day and come interview you about so and so just to do a character reference? I was like, what the fuck, dude? And she had studied abroad and she had done some things, and then she wanted to get a job in the State Department. And for the life of me, I don't know what she does, because when she started it...
Is she Mormon?
No.
Damn.
When she started it, she told me that she was creating a group for women doing research for the embassy department.
Yep, that sounds almost 100% correct. That is, the embassies are full of spies. That is like where we keep 90% of our spies. They love putting those guys there.
I haven't heard from her in years. I'm very curious to see where that led her.
Dude, I get so fucking...
I lied about all the drugs that we did and everything. You know what I mean? Has she ever touched a drug? Not once. She actually smacked him out of my hands.
Biden was like, they're like, oh, Biden administration's not going to like punish people for weed. And it's like, okay, cool. And they asked a bunch of staffers like, hey, have you smoked weed? And they all said, yeah. And they're like, you're all fucking fired. Get the fuck out. That was a real thing that happened. It was hilarious. I was like, you know what? I think they were trying to make sure people, like, they did just like a loose lips challenge, and those fuckers lost.
I like when they like interviewed him like recently. I was like, so are you gonna legalize weed? He's like, why the hell would I do that? Look, you said that. God, whoa, we fucking say things, guys. Come on.
My son and I are trying to have a conversation.
I like how he tries to, because he's nuts. I like how like they're like, all right, yo, go out there and be normal, Joe. All right, I'll go out here and act like everybody's cool grandfather. Got some ice cream upstairs, fellas. What do you think? It's such a weird thing.
That is.
It's like, Joe, stop talking about ice cream. He's like, I got popsicles too.
He's fine though. Whatever. It's just, I'm so glad that he did all that evil for literally no money whatsoever. It sucks.
It's just almost sad to see his puppeteer act.
I wonder who his wife's gonna marry next.
Jill?
Yeah.
Does she have old lady tits?
I don't know. I don't like to comment on women's bodies.
Lies. Every woman I brought up
love
like
it
rocket tits.
I love women.
Anything else you feel like notably?
Have you seen that video of Bud Dwyer blowing his brains out?
Yeah.
Okay,
dude. That's fucking crazy. What was that about again? It was
like just a basic corruption scam.
He got caught.
He would have just gone to like
not found with whores in the caddy. Is that what happened?
Kind of. I mean, he's dumb. The thing with like political machines
fucking do it on camera.
The reason with political machines is like you have to understand, like they would just bring guys in, and like normally like so I talked about Denny Hassard earlier. He was the Speaker of the House who was a pedophile. The reason he ended up there is not because of any other reason except for the fact that he ended up there because they could blackmail him. You can control a guy who's a pedophile, but if you have blackmail on him, especially if you like, or if you want him to do what you want. And so a lot of these guys who go into the government have compromat on them. And actually, the more the better, the higher they'll go. That's how that works. And so Bud Dwyer was probably just part of a political machine. He probably got some basic dirt, and they said, you're not fucking worth it. And that guy's like, what if I killed myself? And it's like, dude, you didn't have to be that dramatic. Fuck, man. You could start painting your nails and like wearing your hair long in the Senate. You know? he fucking just, he went fucking all out, which is like, damn, dude, you should not done that. I'll talk about Pennsylvania's only president.
Okay.
He's the greatest president of all time because the whole country fell apart underneath him.
Right, who was it?
During 2016, they said Hillary Clinton is the most qualified person to ever run for president. She's been Secretary of State and she's been a senator, and that's it. And she's been First Lady. I guess you can count that one. Fair enough. The most qualified man, and like they started to make that whole point about like qualifications as being like the best thing about her. Like that's why she needs to be president. Most qualified person. The most qualified person to ever be president. The country split in half and the Civil War happened under James Buchanan, the only fucking Pennsylvania president who, when he was president, before that, he was the governor of PA. He was multiple ambassadors to like high level positions.
hoagie.
He was a congressman. He was like, he had like multiple cabinet secretary positions. And the motherfucker let the country fall apart under his watch. This is a Northern Democrat, a Northern senator, and the fucking whole country fucking shits the bed on him. And I'm like, I don't think any qualification thing should ever come up again. Just based off that alone, I just wanted to shit on James Buchanan. He was also probably gay.
Nice.
Famously lived with his best friend in the White House, and I'm like, nice.
Same with Lincoln. Lincoln used to cuddle with his bodyguard.
He used to allegedly fuck guys' thighs. That's the thing they would do. They would put the thighs together.
That's how you take care of your boys. What are you talking about?
Dude, well, actually, there's like, American Dad has that whole episode about Lincoln being gay.
Yeah.
But that was actually like a pretty legitimate theory for a long time. They're like, oh, Mary Todd's just crazy. It's like, no, her husband's fucking men.
That'd drive me nuts if you're just standing there like, is no one seeing this?
And he's like, imagine you're Mary Todd Lincoln and you see your 6'4" husband. You're like, yes. And it's just like, she's like, you want to do it later? She's like, no. I'm gonna have the
Greg's
boy.
coming over. I'm gonna fuck
some,
his thighs.
I'm gonna do some wrestling.
Dude, that was you've done some research. I really appreciate that point of view that you have on all of this. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on in here, and I think there's even more we could get into with this. But I think we should just get into daily life, things that have been happening with us right now, and just like comedy in general, and like the Philadelphia scene. I only know anything about comedy from Declan.
Yeah,
because I'm not really in a comedy scene really whatsoever. But like, I would just like to know more about what's been going on.
Well, so I'm like a brand new comic. I'm not even a year in.
Yeah, he's like on the same track as me when it comes to the time frame. What do you think your favorite thing that's happening this year in comedy's been? What do you think for you? You said you had goals. You were like, I want to host something.
Yeah, so when I started comedy, I was like, I don't want to half-ass this. And then if you see me go out at mice, you would assume you're like, well, that doesn't seem true. I moved here. I was here from August to September, and I was like, I was really holding off. I was way too nervous to go start. And my first night doing, I think it was either October 2nd or October 4th. And I was going to go to the 700 and do stand-up on the Wednesday. They weren't doing it. And I instead went to Stir, and Stir was the first mic I ever did. It was probably the best mic I could have done. And I went to Fergie's right afterwards and did there. Finally got it going. I was like, and then I started like doing it more. I was like, probably after 10 mics, I was like, I need to have goals or else I'm not going to fucking achieve anything. And so I set a goal of I want to be booked on a show. I want to get booked on a show out of state as well. That's the second thing. I want to get on a podcast. So congrats, boys, you got that for me. I want to host.
That's your dick now.
I want to host, and I want to get to. I was like, I need to try at least do 15 minutes, and I've done almost all of those except for the out of state show. Oh, I wanted to win my round of funniest, but I didn't. Yeah, which is fine. I did okay.
You did Philly's funniest?
I did, and so the night that they only took, well, my night we didn't have enough people show up, and so if it's less than 10 people, they only take 2.
Is it over?
Tomorrow.
Wait, audience members?
Shit! Actually, the semifinals is tonight.
Is it?
There was one tonight, and then the other one.
What? Not enough audience members?
If there are not enough like if there's supposed to be 8. Let's see. Holy shit! Hell yeah! Amber Bourne. They took 4. Okay, I knew they would take 4. I was like, there's no way they're gonna take 3.
Who was it down to?
It's currently down to like 16 people.
James is funny, so is Connor.
They're all great.
And Amber. Amber's funny. I think her fucking the right to arm bears joke cracks me up.
But that's just kind of crazy. Like, so I didn't know how many people they would take. I assumed that for this last round they would want at least. So like they're in the second to last round right now. 2 semifinal rounds of like I think 12 each, and I thought they would only take 3. Like they normally take 3 each time, unless not enough people show up that are on the show. Then they take only 2. The night I went on, only 8 people showed up, so they only could take 2. And so I was like, whatever. I had a good set, so I can't complain. I have good tape. Check out my Instagram reels. And so for this last round, they'll take 4 from each night. And so it'll be 8 people for the finals, and they'll just 1, 2, 3. That's who wins.
Yeah.
Did you see the Philly Comedy Festival?
Yeah.
$100 tickets.
I might have gotten free tickets because a bunch of people I know can't stop DMing my friend.
What do you mean?
I have a female friend that every comic seems to think is a comic. She gets offered to be booked more than me, and she's never even done a mic. And it's hilarious. It's the funniest goddamn thing. And also, Philadelphia comics, you got no fucking game, no riz whatsoever. You guys, they got to change it up. It's bad.
Yeah,
I should not see
bizarre.
people's name. You should get drunk and be like, I love you, and then just never respond again. It's the best way to do it.
I think my goal this year for comedy, I think, was to just see what a year looks like in doing it and see if it's something I enjoy. And man, I really enjoyed it this year. Would you say you enjoyed the year of it?
I mean, comedy is hell. Hell is other people, and that's comedy in general. It's fine. It's going out and dying a little each night.
It's like forcing yourself to see the ugly part of the world, just like this stuff.
I don't know about that. I think it's. I do observational comedy, and I just act like a fucking dumbass pretty regularly. And so, I'm just like, whatever. Like my goal with comedy, doing it the first year, was like, I don't really want to worry about the quality of jokes. If I can get people to laugh, if I can write structure, that's fine. But if I can go out, learn to get used to a room, get comfortable on stage, have fun. Because like so many people go up there and you're like, are you even enjoying this? Or are you just a narcissist? You have to be on stage and people have to be listening to you. And it's like, why the fuck would you want that? And it's like, well, because people have to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I mean, like if you don't have like a goal like that, I think it's like, I think it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think people should set goals for themselves in comedy and like actually have a clear idea of getting booked and what that looks like. And
who is your favorite comedian?
Ooh, damn, that's a good one.
Who's yours, Raymond?
Tim Dillon.
I like Tim. I saw him with Shane Gillis and Nick Mullen and McCusker and someone else. Oh, Big J. Okerson, that was the other one. I saw those 5 at Hershey.
Nice.
Ah, dude, I wanted to go to that show.
Yeah.
Big J's at Live Casino in a couple weeks.
He's probably my least favorite.
Yeah?
He's my number 2.
He's fine. I not to shit on him. I just like he's fine.
Honestly, his comedy is not as good as his podcasting, to me at least.
Most I mean, there's an issue in comedy right now where a lot of podcasters blew up and they didn't develop the comedic skills that they should have, probably.
Yeah.
Like that's why, like, and they'll admit to that.
See, it's crazy because Big J is a fucking lifetime comic. Like,
yeah.
Like he's been around for like all of these people.
He is the Legion of Skanks guy, right?
Yeah. Legion of Skanks, Bonfire.
Yeah. Louis J. Gomez.
Motherfucker.
Rollerblading away from 9/11. I love that.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I really like Jim Jeffries.
I thought you were about to say Jim Brewer for a second. Like,
no, fucking Jim Brewer's annoying.
I know.
You can't lie about SNL all day and also not be funny.
I know. And lie about smoking pot the whole time.
Yeah, I really like him. I really like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's great.
Yeah.
I like how fucking uncomfortable he'll make people. It's the best. I'm not a huge Chappelle fan. I'm a bigger Chappelle Show fan.
So there's a spot down in the harbor called the Port Comedy Club. You might have heard of it recently. It's kind of like the spot in Baltimore to go for like open mics.
The one that I knew was Sidebar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like Tony Woods is there almost every other night. Tony Woods was like a mentor of Chappelle. He's pretty good, but there's a lot of things going on right now in the city.
Yeah. I just went to Baltimore for the first. I met Stavros the other day.
Where did you see him?
It was unrelated. I followed his brother on Instagram.
The art show?
The art exhibit.
So we had a weird. What was it that you called me about? So
you were there, right? You went, right?
No, are you dating a girl right now?
No.
Some girl followed us. It was a friend of yours.
That's dangerous.
Did she post a story with him in it?
I think
my friend Kimberly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I told her about being on the podcast, so she probably followed you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was your girlfriend or something or not.
Yes, Big Tit Kimberly.
Nice, dude. Nice. Shout out to Big BTK.
BTK killer.
Yeah, bind for kill, baby. Yeah. BTK Kimberly. Oh shit, she's gonna get so mad at me when she hears
That's
this.
so funny. No, he brought up that you looked like you guys were at an art show of Stavros' brother.
Yes, because I followed his brother on Instagram. Unrelated.
He does some weird shit. Dude.
I like him. He's cool. She bought one of his prints, and it's like $300 fucking. I was like, holy.
He showed me what the prints were. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah, they're interesting. I like it.
Interesting people, man.
Yeah, and so like I happened to also meet Stavros, and I was like, this is weird.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, hey, this art show's happening. She's like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah, fuck, sure.
Buy a print. Oh, she did.
I'm broke. Mailman money's good, but student loans take a lot of chunk out of that.
Yeah.
I'm working like 56 hours a week and fucking goddamn student loans. And so like, yeah, I don't know. I got to meet him. Like, I haven't really met too many. I met Shane Gillis at fucking Helium.
A couple years ago, we went to the first ever live show for Are You Garbage in Philadelphia.
It
was at Helium, I think, right?
Yeah, no, it was Punchline. It was outside.
Okay.
It was during COVID.
Who is that?
It's H. Foley and Kevin Ryan.
Okay.
They're Philly comics that blew up during COVID with the Are You Garbage podcast.
But they just happened to have Shane Gillis
Running his Austin set.
and it was
fucking
like
nuts,
the
dude.
first thing we'd ever seen. We're like, dude, this is crazy.
It was them, Mike Rainey, Tommy Pope on it. Someone else.
Pope was probably on.
Yeah, someone. Tommy Pope's around all of their shit. John Cassidy, Tommy Cassidy.
Okay.
Dude, they're fucking hilarious, and like it's really funny the weird moments you'll run into in the Philly comedy scene because there is some pretty fucking big names, dude. The one night someone told me George Lopez stopped down at 2 Street. He stopped down there
If
after
George
a
Lopez
show.
came into 2 Street, I would
No,
come.
he came over on a Wednesday night because he was at Helium, and someone told him to go over to 2 Street if he really wanted to go see some more comedy, and it was Wednesday, and he missed our 2 Street mic. Imagine being at the 2 Street mic. George Lopez jumps in.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
That would make my night, dude.
It's crazy.
I would just blast the song. I would be so racist.
Well, you ran into Lee Syatt that one night.
Yeah, Lee Syatt was at 2 Street on Thanksgiving weekend. He was doing a show with Joey Diaz at
I want to
Parks.
see Diaz.
Yeah, so do I.
I've heard he's weird live, but it's fine. I don't give a shit. I'm going to see Nick Mullen in December. That's going to be sick.
Nick Mullen's top 5 for me right now.
Funnier as a podcaster. I mean, he's funny. I love him.
I've grown to realize that not a lot of the mainstream specials are that funny.
That's because Netflix will give anyone a special.
I'm talking about the YouTube ones, even like
the
the ones that are
well,
like
the YouTube
being
special
blown up
is
by
it's-
podcasts.
so the podcasters can afford to do them.
Except for McCusker's. McCusker's Speed of Light, dude. I
didn't get to
really
listen to- I've seen his and I've seen Stavros.
honestly, Adomas, it was a fucking great
You
special.
know who else I really like that I forget about all the time? Burris. Hannibal.
Yeah.
He's great.
You know who's funny? I just saw recently. I saw down at the port, which I wasn't too familiar. I saw Daryl Charles.
Oh yeah, I met from
Dude.
Philly.
Is he from Philly?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah, we've talked about this. He's got a skit group, and
yeah, he's awesome. I did my first paid show, and he's like, dude, that's fucking. I just happened to run into him at
Bro,
Fergie's.
he's
Dude, he's
good.
like, that's fucking great, man. He's like, yeah, I just came back to comedy after like a year or something, or he had just taken. He's back now. Like I don't know where he was, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and check out Maddie Smith because she's a wild and out character, and like I want to see her. And then Sarah Bell's opening for Sarah Bell's great. Who's one of your favorite comics in Philly right now, like that we know?
that we know.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I love Jay Simpson.
Chris Aiello, dude.
Chris Aleo.
I always say his name wrong, but he's funny, dude.
Danny Aleo.
Lemaire.
Lemaire rocks.
Lemaire is. I got to do a show with Lemaire. It was fucking awesome.
Sarah's great.
Yeah.
Philly scene's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's like a nice equal level.
You have a lot of challenge because there's a lot of hard workers. You have a lot of people that are actually really funny that like write.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, my favorite person who always writes is like who's very good. I got him to do a Delco show recently. It was Sean O'Shaughnessy.
I was before you
he's
even
always
said to me-
writing. Yeah, I fucking
Before
love
you even
Sean.
said to me, Sean O'Shaughnessy is one of my favorites, dude. And he told me, he's like, Declan, you are such a genuinely nice person. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like,
Quit bragging.
He's like, you're just driving. I gave him a ride home one night. He's like, that was such a nice thing to do. He must experience such shitty people in Philly all the time. That I
He's
gave
a
him a
Philly
ride.
bartender, so
I know.
I'm sure. Yeah.
He's like, I barely known him for like a second. I'm like, I'm going over from Great Room to 2 Street. I was like, you want a ride? He's like, you're such a nice fucking dude, man. Jesus Christ.
See, no one says that to me when they're like, oh, Adomas, are you going home? You're like, you want to give 9 comics a ride home tonight? All I ever do is give people rides home, and I'm just like, God damn, this is killing me.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking.
And he cracks me up. I think Sean's really funny.
And then people are like, oh, you're drunk. And I'm like, why are you criticizing a free ride, dog? Like, shut the fuck up. I also haven't had like a single beer that night.
cool
So-
hangs, cool people, Lump. I fucks with
I
Lump.
fucking love Lump. I learned he had a wife recently. I was like, hell yeah.
So it's a good scene. You enjoy
I
it?
mean, we have at least enough diverse of like a scene, like in the sense of like, there are good, like enough variety of rooms and styles. I'm trying to start a mic. I would like to do a heckle mic really badly, like a heckle mic or a character mic or both. Honestly, I would love to bully the shit out of people for being in character.
I don't know how we didn't bring this up. We just did the tomato mic this past weekend. Adam
You
is
did it too?
dethrobed.
That's not the correct word. Disrobed.
I thought dethrobed would be the We tried.
That's dethrobbed, and that's.
We run into this all the time.
Yeah, sorry, I just try words.
Listen, you're not wrong. That's how phonics is supposed to work.
I'm very frugal. I use the word frugal wrong all the time. For a long time I thought frugal meant I was like I share and get. No, I thought it meant like I give money away. And I'm friendly.
He thought it was the opposite.
I spend money on people. I thought frugal was like, I've said to people so many times, like, oh, dude, you mind if I smoke some of your weed? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm frugal. Hop in here.
Fuck yeah. No, that's fucking
in their head. And I'm like, why did I just tell me he's stingy?
Yeah. But so we did Tomato Mike. It
was fun.
I got brutalized.
Speaking of brutalized, poor Pete.
No, Pete loves it.
I know he loves it.
Punishment Pete, baby. Woo.
Pete
Give it up for our friend Pete Eckenroth.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, when I came to Philly from
his grandpa jokes are the best.
I was traveling for work and everything, and I didn't know really anybody in Philly yet. And I had hit up my buddy Alex Tomaselli. Shout out to Alex. He's got the No Offense podcast. He had done shows with Pete and Lemaire, and he had them on his podcast. And he's like, hey, when you go back to Philly, hit up Pete Eckenroth. Pete was super welcoming and got me into every mic that I got into the city and helped me figure it out. And he's probably one of the best people I've met in Philly comedy.
He and I are just friends because of karaoke.
Yeah. He's definitely the shit. But dude, he was wearing a white dress shirt, Raymond. He looked like a Vietnam vet that someone hit with tomatoes. Like he was fucking wrecked. He's got a sweet mustache going right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm really mad. My mustache sucks shit.
He's got a perfect that 70s show mustache. I don't know how he did it. He looks like fucking Eric with a mustache.
But yeah, Tomato Mike was great. I got way too fucked up. And yeah, I stripped down to my skivvies and tennis shoes and a PBR hat as I'm wearing right now.
Love it.
I was getting ripped apart with tomatoes.
I didn't flinch once. I'm proud of that.
It was funny.
Some people got upset with me. And I was like, great. It's working.
Yeah, she can keep her opinions to herself.
Yeah, and let me tell you.
Let that dumb bro keep her opinions.
Fucking bros. Yeah. No, God damn it. They're like, how dare
they do.
Too many fucking comics are just like, how dare you have fun? And I'm just like,
hey, dude, he was talking to me about someone. No, I'm not saying like
don't throw it on.
That just cracks me up, man.
Yeah, people are huge fucking babies.
We'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off mic.
Well,
yeah, definitely.
I think we're getting to the point where we're wrapping this up.
Why, you don't want to make it 4 and have 4 episodes?
Yeah, right.
I can go all night.
No, I figured we'd finish this up on the Philly stuff here. Like, so we did our tomato open mic. It was fucking fun. We had a blast. He got racked up. I got fucking all shotted up, and
I was really red afterwards, and I'm very pale. Except for my mailman.
Listen, we get red when we drink.
He's drunk, so I don't think he remembers this part when this happened. He's fucking waiting to go into the bathroom. He's still like, not really wearing clothes, trying to go get rinsed off and clean himself off, and he's been waiting in line to use the bathroom for like a minute. This girl walks up and starts talking to us, and she's like, are you doing something right now? He's like, yeah, I'm waiting to go in line and rinse myself off. I'm covered in tomatoes. And she's like, okay, I'm going to jump in front of you, and just jumps in front of him and takes a piss instead of him. I'm like, the fuck, lady? Cracked me up.
I was talking to some pilots. They were fun. They went to the same college as me. So
cracked me up. I was like, he's shirtless with tomatoes all over him.
Yeah, look at me. I look like I've been stabbed.
He's dripping.
I got cut inside my ear. I got a little cut on the inside of my ear. It hurt.
They're sharp, dude. The stems.
Yeah, man. Well, they stabbed them. Oh, then I stabbed myself that night. I was doing 5-finger fillet with myself. And
nice.
I showing off.
It was a very interesting night, dude. There was a bunch of fucking just like college white kids that somebody invited, and they were just,
no, they're not. Those are grad students.
Yeah, who were those kids?
Jamie's a grad student, so I assume
that
they're
makes
his
sense.
friends. Jamie's another great comic. He's great.
Jamie Fitzpatrick, shout out to him. He put on the show, obviously. He
yeah.
Dude, there was just like a group of like young white kids that looked like they went to Drexel that were there just to hurt people.
They loved me.
They were just throwing as hard as they could, which was just like,
most people are throwing poorly.
Yeah, it sounded like
Maeve is the one who's got like fucking haymakers. She played men's baseball. She didn't play. She played on a men's team, so she fucking rocked. That was great.
It was a fun Philly comedy weekend, and then obviously we went out yesterday into our comedy rounds and then did some karaoke. So it was a very, very interesting comedy journey this weekend.
I really want to come up and see it and like experience it a little bit and see what's going on up there.
Yeah, I mean, like it's got
the best one to come out. The best one probably come out to is like Grape or a Thursday when Thursday's like popping.
So in 2 weeks, I'll go back on the road next week for work. I'll have 2 weeks on, and then I'll actually be home for 2 weeks. I took off. I have the week of Labor Day. I'll be home, and I also took off the entire week after that. So feel free to come up, stay a couple nights. We'll probably go do some comedy.
Are you gonna go to Philly Comedy Fest?
I'd like to. I just don't want to spend $100. I think we just know enough people that we might be okay.
Comic, it's like Helium. You can walk into Helium almost any night when there's a show happening and be like, I'm a comic. And like, or you don't even have to say it. They'll just be like, they know you are.
I do want to see that show. It looks like it's going to be a really fun day, dude.
I might go. I think I work all day anyway. So
I'm a fan of do-ragging them, dude. I listen to them kind of regularly.
Drew and Naeem have been like super cool to me always.
Yeah, same.
Drew is always. I opened for Drew on a show and it was great.
Naeem was just on Legion. He was on Legion of Skanks.
Yes, yeah.
He was on a show at the Stand one night, and I was up there.
Didn't he open for fucking Shane a couple months ago?
Oh, he's been doing so. Him, Nate, and Lemaire seem to like all kind of rotate and opening and working with Shane.
Let's put out some plugs.
Yeah,
and
man.
then let's end this. And dude, that was an amazing episode. That's something we haven't done.
What,
honestly,
3.5 hours?
No,
Well,
I mean
we usually
that
have
plus
about hour episodes. So like, I mean, do you want to do part 3s with this, or you want to just do hour and a half episodes?
once I edit it, I'll see.
Yeah, see what you got. 3.5.
Raymond's the master with the
You
editing.
should fucking play around with 3.
But yeah, that was intense. That was interesting. That's a lot of
full-blown
stuff.
Schizophrenic, baby.
We have not got into things that deep on here, really.
I didn't even get that deep, man. That was all surface level stuff. I just tailored for you guys. Declan requested Philly stuff. I got all sorts of crazy
I
shit.
think just given our viewership and our friends that we have that like this show, I think some of you guys are really going to enjoy some of this stuff.
But that was amazing.
Yeah,
And
hit me up at Rhinestone Cowboy.
Any special spelling on that?
Yeah, it's BOI. It's all lowercase. If not, just go to Declan's Instagram and literally look up Adomas, Adomas. You cannot spell sadomasochism without Adomas. That's a little known fact I learned recently. I need to stop doing my bits.
Truth.
And so like, yeah, I'll have that. I'll have American Guilt. Come check out JJ Mallin's, because I know like my main hang on a Monday, and then hopefully I'll have a mic to plug soon. I'm working on a mic, so
it's dope.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Everybody
absolutely.
follow Adomas, please. Support the show. It's coming. It's new.
I'm hopefully gonna have like, once I have everything going for American Guilt,
Hopefully you'll have me on your first episode and shock me with some of that.
I'm
shit,
hoping
man.
to have a bunch of. I'm hoping to pre-record a bunch of stuff. Again, assassination, Dennis Kucinich, the death of Paul Wellstone, just getting drunk and talking about weird movies.
That's amazing.
I know.
Hey,
I'm ready.
Maybe we'll have Raymond come up and
Yeah,
record a couple of your episodes for you.
I want to have you guys on.
Guys, you can follow the show at 555 Let Me Call You Back on Instagram. You can also find Declan at Declan Loves Meatballs on Instagram.
Yep. I got a couple things coming up right now. End of August here, August 26th, I have the Dads of Summer comedy show up in Hartford, Connecticut at the Elbow Room. I'll be on that with Pat Oates and C.W. Davis, hosted by Emily Sierra. For you local Connecticut comedians and Northeast comedians and know those names, it's going to be a really fun time. September 12th, I'll be on a show actually with Ryan Shaner. Fucking
Nice, Shane great. Oh yeah, that's the one out in Aston.
Yeah, I'll be on that fucking.
Yeah, that fucked up scary poster.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna be on JJ Mallin's Lovable Monsters September
Nice.
21st, I think. If not, that will be corrected.
Speaking of monsters, what is it? Little Stinkers. I'm sorry. John O'Donnell's on that show too.
Yes.
What else do I have coming up? October 12th, the benefit for Ryan Rosario. So we actually have that set and everything. Patty Wax is where we're going to be having this at. It's going to be from 2 to 5. It's a 3-hour event. We will have a band and we will also have comedy. You're going to have local favorites like Belinda Clear. You're going to have Drew Pabsky and a couple other comedy Philly comedians that are going to be on this show. I'm going to be hosting as well as doing a little bit of time. We're going to be there celebrating Ryan's life, raising a little bit of money to help out with some of the expenses and the headstone costs that he incurred, obviously, for a young guy without insurance and wasn't really prepared to pass away. But that's how it goes in Philly. You know? We have, beef and beers. We bowl a little bit. We collect money, and we put a stone in there for him. So,
And it's a good cause.
it's going to be a great cause, honestly, guys. I mean, there's some pretty awesome prizes that are on the table. A couple different raffles for different trips. I think there's a Phillies game. There was supposed to be a fucking $14,000 safari coupon.
Yeah.
Some pretty crazy shit that are on that. A couple fishing trips. There's some fishing boxes and different things that are included in that. Come out and show support. It's like a beef and beer style thing, guys. There's going to be a ticket to get in. There's a buffet bar included and a drink package as well. You can go to my Instagram or my Facebook and follow the links that I'll post that information to find more information about the tickets and what it includes if you feel like you want to join. Be there at Patty Wax. We're going to blow it down.
And guys, you can follow me on Instagram at Ray_Brooks, BROOX.
Damn,
And I
you really
sit-
just gave up with that one.
What?
Nothing creative, man?
No.
Raymond's my NPR host. I don't know if you know this.
Oh,
He's a
no.
very It's a very
NPR also worked with the CIA.
nice.
There's a ton of. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, what the fuck was I just supposed to say? I fucking forgot. Forget it. Hey guys, thanks a lot for listening to this one. You're probably hearing this one in a couple pieces. This is gonna be a wild one to listen to. We hope you really enjoyed it. We really hope you enjoyed Adomas. And
You
as
know
always,
this will be the last one they hear, right?
go fuck yourself. Good night.
That's it, guys. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. You can follow Adomas on Instagram at Rhinestone Cowboy. Also follow Declan at Declan Loves Meatballs. And myself at Ray_Brooks, Broox. See you guys.